for the first time in a long time, it is not a Victory Monday. Now the Bears lost. We got a lot to discuss. A lot of good things, though. Don't put that thumb down. No.
That was for the first one.
We're positive Monday. Lance Briggs is going to be here. Got an ODK to break down that last interception of the game. And Carm's got some, I don't know, depressing numbers, maybe?
They're not depressing. We're good.
CHGO Bears starts right now.
It is a moving forward Monday, but yes, we are looking strongly at what happened yesterday. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, proudly presented by our friends at Bet365. It is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. You get yourself $150 in bonus bets when you deposit $10 and make a bet for $5. 28-21 Packers over the Bears. We've all digested it. We've all slept on it. And
Greg didn't sleep.
I think Greg slept. Greg will be here with a rendition of Bears After Dark today as we're actually having our CHGO holiday party tonight. Hoge, you ready? You festive?
I actually have a secret festive sweater to debut.
All right, secret festive sweater.
Yeah.
All right.
But I didn't want to do it for the show.
Okay. Well, look, there's a lot of it's a weird thing, right? Do you celebrate that they were close? I mean, this is the NFL. Moral victories mean nothing. But, I mean, I was saying all before the game myself that, hey, look, just show that you're right there, and no matter what happens, I'm good. They're coming back down here. You don't have to sweep them. You just got to beat them once. And if you show on the road that you're right there with them, I think the Bears can feel good about it. And judging by everything that came out of the locker room, as far as the attitude, it seems like the Bears are angry, but not the least bit like down about it, and kind of almost gained confidence from yesterday. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I think. Look, you always want to come away with a win, and it would have felt great to go into Lambeau and get a win. But guys, that Packer. Like, if we're doing a Packer show right now, which thank God we're not, we're talking about how the Packers have finally turned the corner. They're putting it together. Those Super Bowl aspirations talked about when they traded for Micah Parsons are real. That's what they're talking about in Wisconsin today.
Right. That's right.
And you're the Bears. You're right there at the end of the game.
Right.
You were resilient. You were down 14. You came back. I thought they looked like the more physical team in the second half, the Bears. I thought they started to wear down the Packers, and that's right. We all hesitated right here, and it's not fair to me because I'm on a one shot, so you didn't get to see Carm, but there's some weird noises going on in our studio right now.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's great, but either somebody just saw someone that they haven't seen in 28 years or something terrible's happening in the distance studio. So I'm sure we're okay.
We do a lot of great things here at CHGO, but one thing we consistently do horribly is remember that there's shows going on.
We're not good at that.
Every single day. It doesn't matter, but that's okay.
We're stunningly bad at it. Okay. Here.
The point is, yes. We don't even have to call it a moral victory. It's the NFL. That was a playoff-type game yesterday, and fortunately for the Bears, it wasn't the playoffs. So the season goes on, and you have 4 more games here in the regular season. It wouldn't shock me at all if they beat the Packers in 2 weeks, and it wouldn't shock me at all if that's the 2 versus 7 game in the first round of the playoffs.
Right, and we could have made the headline today, anything is possible, because anything does feel possible. No, Steven?
All right, Garnett.
What's that?
You sound like Kevin Garnett.
Is that a compliment? I think that's a compliment.
Yeah. No.
KG, he's had a good career. Guy's doing great work. I don't know. I think I listen. I'm not betting my life that the Bears are going to end up in the Super Bowl. I'm not betting my life that they're going to have a deep playoff run. I'm not even betting my life that that they'll be in the playoffs, even though I probably would make a significant bet there if you made it worth my while. But you can't rule anything out for this team. You absolutely cannot rule anything out. And that is an unbelievable position for the Bears to be in with 4 games to go, 3 of them at home, Cleveland coming in. Everybody on the Browns is hurt. Yes, Myles Garrett has 20 sacks, and you better figure out a plan for him. But other than that, it's like, okay, extremely winnable game, and then let's go. Saturday night, Green Bay, back at it. Huge game at home. Most likely, you're right. You're if you're not clinching a playoff spot, you're in essence doing that. So I mean, it's and you now know that if you give up a little bit less on the explosive side, if you figure out who Bo Melton is, and shout out Bo Melton, guy playing, he's like the Travis Hunter of the Packers that nobody talks about, playing both ways and everything else, making a huge catch. I know it's a little too tall, but hey,
it's too tall because he's in that position because he doesn't play either position that well.
No.
The other one was drafted 2nd overall.
Well, the other guy didn't play the either position that well either, and then he got hurt. So I mean, I don't know. That was just felt like a play that just happened. But I'm like, Bo Melton just
right
came up and gave you the Bo Melton. But part of the reason why Bo Melton gave you the Bo Melton is because the Bears can't get to the quarterback. So we did a little dive on the edge rushers here. And not the edge rushers, the entire defensive line, really, and what the Bears are getting and what they're not getting. So here it is, folks, brought to you by Stephen Nicholas and a little bit of Carman. We're putting this together. Montez Sweat, 38 tackles on the year, 8.5 sacks. Not terrible, but you're paying him $25.1 million on his cap at this year to do it. Grady Jarrett got hurt. Not Grady's fault. This is more, on the evaluation of a player that's just, coming towards the end here. 22 tackles, 0 sacks. You're paying him $7 million for that. By the way, that contract goes to a huge increase you're paying Grady next year. Same thing with Dayo Odangbo. $8 million, got hurt, but you got 1 sack out of that. You're going to pay him $19 million next year. Dayo Odangbo coming off an Achilles injury. That's not great. Austin Booker, you're not paying him a lot of money, but also got hurt. And you gave up a 4th-round draft pick to move back into the draft and draft him in the 5th round. I like Austin Booker, but, again, 1 sack, hasn't had one since his first game back. Gervon Dexter, 4 sacks, but the 53rd overall pick, you look back at that draft, you wouldn't draft him in that position with those that went after him. Big Dex has been okay, but he hasn't been great. And then there's Andrew Billings, hasn't gotten to the quarterback, 23 tackles. You're not paying those guys a tough. So there it is, 14 sacks, 46, just over $1 million, $3.2 million per sack. That's not the ratio exactly that you're looking for.
Yeah, plus the draft capital.
Right.
And just for what it's worth, I mean, I looked at Myles Garrett's 2025 cap hit, and he's at $22.9 million. He's got 20 sacks. So just Myles Garrett alone, $1.14 million per sack this season.
Also, if you really want to make it painful, and I get it, the draft isn't an exact science, but Gervon Dexter was drafted 53rd overall in the 2023 draft. The 54th pick was Tuli Pelotu. You know who that is? Did I come close to saying it right?
I don't think so.
I don't think I did either. Whatever it is. Dude's 9th in the NFL with 10 sacks. He was picked 1 pick after. Yeah. Guys wrecking offenses for the Chargers. And the next guy from that draft, 77th overall, which, by the way, Zach Pickens was drafted 64th, and I think, I don't know what Zach Pickens is doing, but he's not sacking quarterbacks. Byron Young out of Tennessee, who was drafted as an older player out of Tennessee. He was 25 years old. The year prior, they drafted a 25-year-old out of Tennessee. His name was Velus Jones. It would have been really weird if Ryan Poles had gone back-to-back. But Byron Young, 77th overall pick that year, he's got 11 sacks, 5th in the NFL for the Rams. So, I mean, you can play this game over and over and over again. But if you do want to have a consistent winning product, you have to hit in the draft, and you have to hit in big ways, and you got to make your 2nd and 3rd round picks do something for you, and the Bears have just not done enough.
No, they haven't probably used enough draft capital on getting after the passer, and when they have, they've not hit on those picks. I mean, I put Zach Pickens in that category too. He's not even on the team anymore. That was a 3rd-round pick. And then you have to compensate for that by making big trades. The officially on the ledger for Montez Sweat, not just the money, but also a 2nd-round pick.
Right.
Right?
And that's right.
And Sweat's been fine. 8.5 sacks. But he's not Micah Parsons. He's not one of these game wreckers, these blue chip pass rushers. He's a guy that every week the other team has to have a game plan for. And when there's nobody else there that really scares you, it's a lot easier for the opposing team to focus on Montez Sweat and shut down Montez Sweat.
Yeah, and you look at just yesterday, the Bears had 1 sack from Montez Sweat with sweet play. Bull rush, huge loss on the play, stopped the Packers' drive. You got an interception on the next play. It was a big momentum early in the game. Bears offense didn't capitalize it. I was looking at, just a lot of passes early in that game. The Bears just, for whatever reason, did not want to establish the run game early, which perhaps they would have gotten on the board earlier and things could have looked a whole lot differently. Regardless, after that, you did not have a quarterback hit the rest of the game.
I know.
I mean, you didn't even touch him.
And
you're about sacking him.
And you're trying to manufacture pressure with all these blitz packages. And meanwhile, Jordan Love against the blitz yesterday went 9 for 12, 171 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 156 passer rating.
Yeah, he's loving it. Just hanging out. It's and the reality is, like, you're not going to be able to, there's no edge rusher that's falling out of the sky that's going to be able to get to the quarterback. But I do wonder, the Kyler Gordon thing, what was the game plan? How were they going to use Kyler Gordon against the Packers yesterday? Well, he gets hurt in warmups. You can't replace him. You can't like just drop UB Gordon and do this scheme. So now you got to figure you're not going to have him against Green Bay, maybe not going to have him at all the rest of the season. So going into Packer week number 2, how do you, knowing that Gordon's out, what does Dennis Allen do as far as scheming up getting to the quarterback in ways that perhaps he was planning on doing it last week that just didn't happen?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's like the worst timing to get, to.
How does that happen?
Remember a year ago when Braxton Jones reported concussion symptoms like the day before the game when they were going to Minnesota, and then Karan Amagaji had to come in and play left tackle on short notice when he didn't practice all week?
Yeah, I do remember.
Okay, this isn't quite that bad, but when you think you have a guy all week and then he gets hurt in warmups, and you already knew all week you had this challenge of getting to the quarterback and having to manufacture pressures with these dime packages, and to lose a guy like that right before the game, it makes a difference. Now, every single game you could lose anybody in the game.
Sure,
that's part of coaching. That's part about you make adjustments. But when it's warm-ups and you have this game plan and you just delete this guy off the depth chart. And you can't even replace them because the inactives have already happened. The roster moves, calling somebody up from the practice squad. You just down a body.
Right. Not great.
Yeah.
And listen, they're professionals. You're going to do your job, period, end of story. But right before the game, hey, guys, Kyler's out. Excuse me? Like, that's just not Ben talked about it in the postgame. Like, it was a little bit of a buzzkill.
Yeah.
When that news comes down that, we just lost one of our great guys. Well, we're about to go ahead.
It's tricky too because Kyler's one of the best blitzing slot corners in the NFL. He is. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson's been doing a good job of that himself. But when it seemed like when the Packers saw Nick McLeod in the game, they targeted Nick McLeod. And that was the rotation at the slot corner position between C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Nick McLeod. And it was just like, well, if you see Gardner-Johnson in there, he might be blitzing you. And if you don't, oh, they're probably dropping back in coverage. Let's target that guy.
Right.
It was a lose-lose situation for the Bears.
But they also got beat when CJ was trying to play press coverage in the slot, and that's where, there's a reason why he's been moved to safety and he's played kind of all around, because that's more Kyler Gordon's game. If you need somebody to just cover one-on-one like that at the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna go with Kyler Gordon in those situations.
Yeah, me too.
So, look, you got to find ways to overcome that. They gave up too many explosives. I think 3 of those 4 touchdowns, if you're a defensive coordinator sitting in the meeting rooms today, and we'll get Lance's perspective on this in a second, you're sitting there going, hey, that can't happen. I don't care who's on the field. I don't care. I don't care
Right.
what we have and what we don't have. Those are coverage breakdowns, and we can't get beat off the line of scrimmage like that. Whatever it is, 3 of the 4 touchdowns were explosives that probably should not have happened.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about a whole lot of the postgame show unless I blacked out when we did. But the Cairo part of it, giving the Packers the ball at the 40-yard line right before the end of the half, that was not the best Cairo.
No.
Bad Cairo.
Bad Cairo.
Bad Cairo.
Make a stop. Hold him to a field goal.
Yeah, but bad Cairo.
Make a tackle on that last possession.
Sure.
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 I get it. There's a lot of different things, but
all right. I love Cairo.
Cairo didn't give up the touchdown.
Bears fans
he gave up field position, and it sucked, and it was deflating, but he didn't give up the touchdown.
I know that Bears fans are all over Cairo. I don't want to be that guy because Cairo's been the most accurate kicker for the Bears, but that was bad Cairo. Come on, Cairo. Landed in the you're paid to do one thing. Landed somewhere between the 20 and the end zone. It can't be that hard. But, to your point, yes, make the stop. All right, Briggs is coming up in a second. But first, shout out to our friends at Circa Sportsbook, whatever the sport, the app to bet on is Circa Sports Illinois. A lot of you took the Bears yesterday.
That was the worst part. They didn't even cover.
See, it
felt like they covered. They should have covered. They didn't cover.
It was part of my calculus, honestly, in my pick before the game, because literally the only betting philosophy I have was to fade the public, and everybody thought the Bears were covering yesterday. So I'm like, this is when Vegas goes. This is I know.
They did, but they didn't.
They didn't.
I know, but
I'm. Listen. Somehow, some way, I don't know how they know, but they just know. They do, and the public gets beat all the time. Circa Sports, it's betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, in-game. Circa Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You have to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And if you live in this area, winter is here. Been pounded by snow. It is cold. The high temperature for the tailgate on Sunday looks like 12.
It's going to be awesome.
So we hope your home's heating is up for the challenge. That's why you call Four Seasons. If you got a plumbing emergency, you call Four Seasons. Electrical emergency, you call Four Seasons. Now's the time, if you haven't already, to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Do it now. At Four Seasons, they're going to guarantee you same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs.
Pops.
With no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. You can save up to $4,000 on furnaces right now.
4G.
If you need one, as low as $39 a month. So call today. Save $50 from your trusted local experts. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
All right, as we bring in 55, Lance Briggs, this moral victory thing.
What is that? What is that?
I'm asking you.
What's a moral victory? What is that? Is that a participation trophy?
So if you did your best to put yourself in that Bears locker room, and last year you're losing 10 games in a row, and Matt Eberflus is around, and all these things, and now this year you're 9-3, you're playing your hated rival. Everybody's talked about it all week long. You go up there, and you're right there to win the game.
Yep.
How do you think you're coming? Like your mentality walking out of there? Are you? I'm not saying you're celebrating it, but I think is it fair to say that there's got to be some level of extra juice? Like, hey man, we're right there. We should have had them. Let's and like some level of confidence that could have built from even in a loss. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean that's probably what you're going to hear from your coach. That's probably what Ben is relaying to the team. Listen, that's a game we should have won. We had our opportunities. We came up short. Good thing we get them in a couple weeks because once we clean all that stuff up, we're going to beat that team from up north. But for me as a player, I could have gone in there and had 14, 15 tackles, and we come up short. Like I'm pissed, because now I'm pissed even more because my 14, 15 tackles wasn't good enough. We needed more. So it's frustrating when you give everything you have and then you still come up short.
Right. And we'll see what happens a week from yesterday or 2 weeks from Saturday. Thank you. But it's a whole nother game and a whole nother animal. I'm sure the Packers are going to make some adjustments too. Why don't we go into this, Hoge? This is the Adam Hoge did the deep work on the 4th and 1 play where Caleb got had options but ended up intercepted and the ball game was over. So, Hoge, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, and Lance, feel free to jump in at any point.
Okay.
But we've learned some things about this play. By now you've probably heard it's the same play that ran in Philly on the touchdown to Kmet a week ago.
There's a tendency. It is something that Green Bay would have seen on tape and said, hey, in this situation, this is what we expect.
And they saw it on 4th down in the second quarter in this game, which Caleb just kept it, which is an option on the play. So let's say top screen is from Philly last week. Bottom is from Green Bay. You can see same right hash. They're going to boot the same direction to the left. Now, Ben Johnson does like to dress things up. We know this, make the same things look different. So there is a little bit of a difference here. You see Colson Loveland last week against Philly. He doesn't go anywhere. He stays and is the guy that blocks down on this linebacker there. This week, there's Olamide on the edge, and Colson Loveland actually goes in motion across the formation, okay? That's more to dress things up a little bit because otherwise our concepts slightly different, but the same in that on both plays, right? You have DeAndre Swift in the flat. You have Cole Kmet leaking out, same thing as he did last week, leaking out. And then you're going to have DJ Moore here. Now, in the top one, you just can't see him. He's right over here off the screen, okay? And last week, he ran like this kind of route.
Yeah,
whereas
drag.
This week, he goes behind the formation and leaks out kind of that way late.
Yep.
So small differences, but when we're talking about DeAndre Swift in the flat, Cole Kmet trying to sneak out and be wide open, and then DJ Moore leaking out as a late option. Also, Caleb has the ability to run it if he needs to. We'll go to the next slide now. Now, I purposely froze these in the same exact spots of, the play.
Yeah.
So we got the play action handoff. Now, small difference. I do feel like Caleb's play action yesterday was a little bit lazier. Notice how the ball is not extended as much in this spot. So just small little thing.
The other thing, with DJ being on that side and instead of him doing a shallow drag across the line of scrimmage, him doing it behind the line of scrimmage, he was the one player where we said he leaked late. In this situation, you really want that threat to come out right now. You want him to be able to leak right now so that he has an option, or you might be able to pull a defender up to create more for the back end.
And here's why that mattered so much, because we learned
then he would have really been wide open if that had happened.
Well, we learned this from the Packers locker room. Shout out Matt Schneidman who covers the Packers. So Keyshawn Nixon, number 25 down here, was in man coverage against DJ Moore. Remember, he's the one who ends up picking off this pass. So what he said was when they put Colson in motion, they passed off the coverage. So Evan Williams right here, number 33, he's in man coverage against Cole Kmet. All right. Now what ends up happening was he leaves Cole to go cover DeAndre Swift in the flat, which he wasn't supposed to do. This came out of the Packers locker room yesterday. And Keyshawn Nixon recognizes he's following DJ Moore, right? Here in the back. He recognized, oh, no, Cole's coming wide open. Maybe that's because of tape. Maybe that's because they saw this play last week and earlier in the game. So he comes off and ends up picking up Cole Kmet in coverage.
Ooh, which probably could mean, too, if that was the case, if Caleb was able to see this quick and throw it right now immediately. That's why, especially right down by the end zone, it's good to get that reaction right now. So we get somebody in somebody's eye right now. So if DJ runs that shallow arrow right now, we can grab somebody. We can make a choice right now. Mm-hmm. So you're either going to go deep or you're going to go short. But the longer this takes, the worse the situation is for our offense.
And that's where the timing, and I'm going to show this to you, why the timing matters so much. Now, again, top is Philly last week. Biggest thing here, DeAndre Swift's wide open in the flat.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb knows it. Now, it's kind of hard to see in these screenshots, but you'll notice just a slight difference in his helmet, in his vision. So Caleb knows, this is last week in Philly. I have the flat. I have this. So I'm going to peek. To see if Cole Kmet is there, because I know I have the underneath flat. Let me peek real quick. We're here yesterday against Green Bay. He's not as open, right?
Yeah.
There's all these guys here, and I think because whether it's confusion or it's just a different look he's seeing, his eyes to me are still hanging on the flat too long.
Throw it right now.
Where dude, Cole's got Nixon
throw
beat.
It. Right
Cole's got Nixon.
now.
So he doesn't peek.
It's not even Nixon, though. One of the linebackers in there is supposed to be covering Cole and got deked out. I think it's the guy all the way up front, right?
33 was who was on man coverage against Cole, and he went to go cover the flat.
Right.
Right.
So no one's covering him right now.
Correct.
Right. You want your quarterback to be thinking, okay, this is covered. Cole might be open. Right? But instead he hangs on it longer. He hangs on it longer. And again, I'm trying to pause. Look, where his feet are. On the hash. Feet are on the hash. We're in the exact same spot. Okay? The other thing, as we go to the next one. Okay? I want you to notice where Caleb is. Distance from the hash here. You can see the timing. He's already farther over here. So this play is taking longer. At this point, last week against Philly, he's pump faking this to DeAndre because he knows he's going to go to Cole, who notice isn't looking yet. This thing's still developing where Caleb knows I am going to pump fake this and I am going to throw this to Cole, we're talking anticipation here. This week against Green Bay, this is the first time I could see from the tight end zone angle that he actually looks at Cole. Look at Cole. Cole's already turned his head. He's already waiting for the ball. So this shows you how the timing is different. Caleb's farther over, closer to these numbers than he was last week, okay? And Cole is down here already looking for the ball. So this whole thing is taking longer than it did last week when Caleb threw this with anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's allowing Keyshawn Nixon to close. Now I'm going to go I froze these again. Here, jump man. We're jump manning like he likes to do. Same exact moment, same exact throw. It's pretty remarkable, actually. But it's a small little thing, but he's on this side of the numbers here last week against Philly. He's drifted all the way over here. So, again, I'm just trying to show you the timing difference a little bit. We'll look back at the all-22 angle. Okay, I froze it at the exact same time. We're in the moment where we're throwing it last week against Philly. We're throwing it here against Green Bay.
He's more open
You have
against
to see
Green Bay.
the Green Bay. You got to see the defender underneath when you make this throw.
Yeah.
You have to know that this has to go over the top. This is going to be a back of the end zone catch.
Carm, what Lance is talking about right here is it looks like he's more open against Green Bay. But if you actually look at where Nixon is, he's farther inside. Mm-hmm. Whereas Blankenship last week is trailing.
Trailing, yep.
So it creates a throwing angle last week where Cole can go that way. To me, it's more important that this throw goes more towards the corner.
Yep.
Right? Because Nixon has this underneath. And then we'll freeze it at the catch point. So just concentrate on the top. This is last week against Philly. Cole's able to just run under this ball. Mm-hmm. Like it's all timed up. He's running right underneath it. Whereas here, the same track would have been like this way if he had just kept leading him.
It's got to come over the top.
Yeah.
It's got to come over the top.
And instead, Cole has stopped his feet. He's actually moving back because his ball was so underthrown. Look, this is a long way of saying I think it was still open either way. The throw, it's a tick late.
Yep.
We're talking minuscule differences from last week. Yeah, you can take it off, Steven. Thank you. And it's just the throw's just not as good.
Right.
It's just not as good. And so a tick late, not as accurate. The difference between an amazing touchdown last week against the Eagles and an interception against the Packers.
And really understanding what you need in that situation, what kind of throw is necessary, for if you're going to go for the home run. And if not, if you're going to hold it, go get the first down. Go get the first down. And we can work from there. But if you're going to go for the home run, make the home run type of throw.
All right, hit the like button for Hoge because we came up with this brilliant idea. Because I was like, let's start the show talking about the 4th and 1. Then Steven was like, let's do an ODK. And then Steven was like, hey, Hoge, can you do an ODK? And that was like 7 minutes ago. And then nobody said like to do a side-by-side frame of Philadelphia. So you had your own brilliance there. So that was a hell of a job. I think can we get to 100 likes on that performance by the Hoger? Because I don't know. Top of the food mountain over there at ESPN who's ever doing the circles and the this is that and the Grudens of the world. I don't know if they could have done as well as Hoge just did in that time frame all by himself.
Well, it's nice having a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame next to me to help break it down.
Oh, thanks.
I will say that. But
the way I set up the segment, too,
and
was
you set it up great.
It was unbelievable setup, wasn't it, Briggs?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Great setup. Everybody did a great job. Look, in the end, I look at this and I'm like, I don't hate the play call. I think it worked. The fact we hear from the Packers that this guy was supposed to cover this guy, and then he actually went and did this, and this other guy was freelance. Great play by Nixon, because there's a world where Nixon doesn't recognize it, and Cole is wide-ass open. Nobody's covering him, and Caleb's got all day to throw that. So we got to credit Keyshawn Nixon for adjusting.
Yeah.
But it also is like, and it's asking a lot for Caleb to then to realize now I'm late on the Cole throw. Who's next? That would have been asking a lot. But because it was Nixon who was on more originally, if he does get to that next level eventually, he'll realize that DJ Moore was also open once it was too late to call. The bottom line is the play should have worked. Caleb didn't read it quite as well as he did a week ago, and more importantly, which has been too much of a theme over the last month, just got to make a better throw.
Yeah, and one of the breakdowns that I watched on cesspool.com was that Steven showed me. It was interesting because in the middle of the show yesterday when I lost my focus for a second.
It was Emmanuel Acho, I want to say.
Emmanuel Acho was doing that? Okay, fine. I was arguing when we went to whatever video we're playing from the locker room. I noticed Vanilla Chill was writing at me in the Discord saying, because he was mad that I was saying that Mahomes would have hit the Mahomes play there would have been to hold it, and then you would have just flipped an easy pass to DJ, and he would have walked in for the touchdown. And then if you looked at the breakdown, when he goes up to cock for the throw, that's right when DJ's coming open.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if he really had it timed up well, he probably could have figured out like, oh, I had that, I missed it. Where's DJ if that dude's over there? I mean, this is we're talking about super, super, super high level here, and it would have been just an easy little flip at that point just because he waited a little bit too long, and then DJ could have had a catch that wasn't for negative yards.
That's a lot of processing right there, man. It's just,
Yeah.
Well, the one other thing I didn't mean to bring up in there, though, that I do think is a key difference when we do the side-by-side between the two plays. The one play was not at the end of the game. Okay, so Philly, the game's not on the line if you don't get the first down. That gives you a little bit more freedom to peak for the home run. Whereas in that moment yesterday, they know if we don't get this first down,
it's over.
It's over.
Right.
So I can sort of understand why he's going to hang on the flat a little bit longer because he knows that's the one we really need to be able to get the first down. And last week against Philly, it was wide ass open. And this time, but that's just, to me, this is an example of just a young quarterback. You bank it, you log it, it sucks. You lost to the Packers, you learn from it. Last week it worked. It was great. This week it didn't.
This upcoming week we're gonna play the Browns. We get into that situation, or a similar situation, they get into that formation, you got to know that the Browns are prepared for now the different looks and how we're going to defend those different routes. If DJ's on the play side, if DJ's on the back side, they're going to try a couple other things. Hey, they might try this, so every week now that defenses have it on tape, they know how they want to defend it. So it's going to be even tougher to make that decision.
Carm Sweet Bibby points out that someone mentioned that they're different part of the field. They were at the 28 last week. They're at the 14 this week. He probably makes that throw if he has 14 more yards. That is a fair point. There's way more margin for error to lead Cole Kmet when you have more field. That being said, it is where you are. There was still plenty of room to get that ball in.
Please, let's not make excuses for if it was a great throw. That's exactly what we're going to say. We're going to say it was an amazing throw. That's why we scored a touchdown. If it was a bad throw, which it was, then we're going to call it as we see it.
Xavier McKinney, the Packers safeties, I thought these were interesting comments about that play. And what you're talking about, like, the people are going to know that the Bears are going to run this play. McKinney afterwards, like, they were doing that pretty much the whole game.
Yep.
They were running, and they were play action booting us, and we had to honor the run. They got what they wanted. It was a good play call. I'm not going to lie. Kmet was open. It was a good play call, so you can't be mad at it. We just made a better play.
It didn't.
When Nagy was here, and they would, and his offense would get into that pseudo green red zone-ish type area, they would always run this tight end shovel pass.
Oh yeah.
And then when you look back at the tape, with the Chiefs, they're doing the same thing around the same area. It was one of those tendencies where it's like, listen, this is exactly what they're going to do when they get to the 35-yard line. Mm-hmm. All right, and so for this play right here, I do think it's a good play. I think you can continue to run it because it stresses your coverage, stresses the coverage, and somebody should come open or have a chance to come open. However, when we have it on tape and we're ready to and we're going through it with the defensive group, we know how we should be sharp. We should say right now, call out the routes that are coming on this one.
Right. To that point, I think they will continue to run it, but they obviously have to pick and choose their spots. We'll get to Briggs' grades in a second, but first, shout out to our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary. They are here to elevate your football season. Man, come up to our tailgate, enjoy yourself some Sunnyside, and just enjoy the watch-alongs from home, whatever. Sunnyside, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, the crazy selection, 100 different strains to choose from, easy online ordering, in-store pickup, and yes, we're hooking you up. Bright Buys every day on their website. You get 50% off on your first 3 online purchases, 50% off on the first 3 online purchases on their beautiful 100 strains, all the flavors that you need. And if you've already done that, returning customers, we got a CHGO 50 on their special, whatever's available that day, so you get 50% off on their whatever strain is on the menu that day. So it's just a phenomenal thing. Sunnyside Dispensary, Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
And athletes, here's a question. How serious are you about leveling up your game?
Serious.
We don't all have Arizona State champion Lance Briggs available to coach us.
True.
Open State, Bash of Bears. Woo.
But if you check out Eye on the Ball, you can find the coaching you need because the right coach can change everything, just like Ben Johnson's changed everything for the Bears, right? Now, you could find one. It's easy with Eye on the Ball. Doesn't matter if you're just a kid, you're starting out, you're competing at the top level. You can sign up totally free at eyeontheball.net, create your profile, search through coaches in your sport, connect directly with the one that is right for you, from soccer to swimming, baseball to basketball. I keep telling Carm, to find a tennis coach, and he could level up his game, but he won't do it. You name it. The coaches are there on Eye on the Ball. What are you waiting for? Your future coach could be one click away. Jump on today. Eyeontheball.net. That's eyeontheball.net. Find your coach. Take your game to the next level.
All right. We are about to go to the grades here, but Steven, I believe Lance Briggs needs your attention of the visual variety. And so I think We will
need some glasses.
We will be able to. The professor is not quite ready, but he will be in a moment. So let us have a moment here. Let's all pause and breathe and enjoy. The professor is ready.
Yes, the professor is back. I would put no B+. There's no way. That is the lowest grade I've given this year. Well, fellas, for a loss, a close loss, I think the grades actually are going to be pretty decent, for a loss. Offense, 315 yards of offense is pretty doggone good. 177 yards passing's not what you want. That's underneath what we want, but 130 yards rushing, 138 yards rushing. They were 8 of 16 on third down, which is very good. They were 50% in the fourth down. You'd like to be better, but 50% is okay. We're okay with that. Did give up 1 sack. Interception was thrown. We don't like that. But what I do see in the red zone, they were 50% in the red zone, and that's important. That was one of the reasons why I thought a B- was legitimate.
Got to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the way they started and the way they rallied and putting themselves in position, it was a big-time turnaround. And the other part of it is the consistency that you're looking for. And I look back at it like, after the C.J. Gardner-Johnson interception, you had the ball at the 35-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Pass, punt. Like, I don't ever want to say anything even remotely questioning Ben Johnson, but I'm also like, I don't know, man. This is your strength. This is what you do. Why not,
run the ball?
Run the ball. Do what. Let's get some rhythm going, and then you can move on to opening.
I think it's also fair to point out that they hadn't really established a run early on. I mean, they did eventually, and I thought it was very encouraging that they wore the Packers down. And by the second half, I mean, you got Micah Parsons standing on the sideline, gassed.
Yeah.
So I think I get it. First pass of the game though, he also we're talking about a quick speed out to Luther Burden, and Caleb just airmails him.
Right.
So
at that point, all right, we'll run it for a minute here until you feel good, and we'll get you back going.
But you got to be able to. You got to get some completions to feel good. So it's a double-edged sword. For me, Caleb needs to start faster and just be more accurate, and it would fix a lot of this stuff.
It'll fix a lot. It'll clean a lot of that up. Defense. I gave defense a D+. Okay. And this was very close to being a C or C+, because, when you look at they gave up 220 yards passing. That's 21 yards over what it's close. They gave up 117 yards rushing. That's close. You want it to be under 100 yards. What I didn't like was that Green Bay was 8 of 12 on third down. That was the one key. This is the number one team in the NFL on third down, and we didn't win enough on first and second down, and we got ourselves into situations where our pass rush does not get to the quarterback. And because of that, we gave up about 4 big plays, and those were really the decider of the game. You eliminate those big plays, and the Bears walk away with a win on this game.
What's Lance Briggs doing if Dennis Allen calls up? Hey, Lance, just curious. It's DA here. I know you watch us every week. What do you think I can do defensively to perhaps help us get to the QB? Anything that comes to mind?
Well, everybody's got to do their job. Everybody's got to do their job, Coach. I'm a linebacker. I'm on underneath coverage most of the time. But if I have man coverage and I have a guy, I'm calling him out. I'm going to take him. If you're putting me into the blitz, I'm going to bust my ass to get in there and get some pressure on the quarterback. I have to do my job. I can't do our safety's job. I can't do our defensive end's job. Everybody has to do their job in order for us to be effective. And you look at this game, it's a game where if they tackle Josh Jacobs, they're way under 100 yards giving up rushing allowed. So you look at it, you're going to say, hey, listen, let's take those 4 plays away, and let's see what our numbers are. Our numbers are fantastic as a defense if we take those big explosive plays away. But we have to do our job. We have to get to the quarterback. We have to rush. We have to cover.
Was the Bo Melton play, was that communication?
Well, they're dropping into the way I saw it. it seemed like they were basically the other safety came down, and Jalen Johnson was supposed to go back to basically be the cover 2 safety, which he's got to then come off the guy. He's playing the guy underneath. He's got to have the deep half. And so when Bo Melton comes to his half of the field, that is his responsibility. And based on the answer Jaquan Brisker gave after the game when he was asked, was there a communication problem? He's like, I'm not going to answer that. I got to make the play. That's what I think was probably what happened. I don't know how many times Jalen Johnson's actually had to do that in his career.
The routes, those routes specifically stress those players, and they're 2 high beaters. They're 2 high beaters, cover 4 beaters, cover 2 beaters, where you stress them and you have to practice that a lot to recognize it. Now, a lot of times you'll see it. You'll have that in route with the skinny behind it, and it's easy if guys are jogging. It's easy. Oh, I'll take this guy. I'll take this guy. But when you have one guy that's fast, okay, and he's running the sucker at 100 miles an hour, and he's running that digger at 100 miles an hour. Now, oh, shoot, okay, I have to make this decision fast, and I have to get myself into a back pedal to make sure that I can cover this guy. Right. It's stressful. It stresses the coverage, but that's what you practice it. You have to practice it enough to know.
In Jalen's spot, though, is he basically nobody can ever be behind me, even though I'm all the way on this side of the field and Bo's coming from all the way over there. Is that
if they're in cover if they're in cover 2, there's some that he can play underneath because he's a cloud corner. He'd be a cloud corner. Now, if they're in cover 4, yes, there's nobody that can be deeper than him.
Okay. All right. Let's pause right there and do our final. But first, and we'll wrap up the grades in a second here. But first, Hoge, you ready?
Yep.
Great. Go ahead.
Okay. Factor. I love Factor. Factor's the best because when we're super busy, and especially coming off a late afternoon Sunday game into Monday, we had a little Hogan Johns this morning, got here, some ODK. There's not a whole lot of time to plan your meals or cook or anything like that. Factor, that's why I use Factor, because with everything going on, Factor can get you ready in just 2 to 3 minutes, and it tastes good, too. There's more variety, more meals. You could choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp. No extra cost on those. There's more choices to better nutrition. 97% of Factor's customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life, too. So eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off. Use code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box. Plus, you'll get free breakfast for 1 year. That's code CHGO50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box. Plus, free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Shout out to our friends at Aura Frames, AURA Frames. This is the perfect holiday gift. Never struggled to do that because everyone goes, I'll just get you a gift card. No. Give something where they can look at it and like, oh my God, I'm so happy that Lance Briggs was like, man, I get to see my family, I get to see my son, my daughter, my cousin, my best friends on these beautiful Aura frames.
I can actually take a picture of you right now, Carm.
Yeah.
And
then you can upload it.
This fast, send it to our Aura frame at home.
Unlimited free photos and video. You just download the Aura app. You connect to Wi-Fi. You preload the photos before it even ships.
I just did it.
Which is a beautiful thing. You personalize your gift. You add a message before it arrives. You share photos and videos effortlessly. Like, we got the Aura right next to the TV. So, like, I see the photo, but then I see, like, the video. I see, like, like a dancing Greg Braggs. Is there anything better than that before you go to bed?
A lot of things are better.
Well, a lot. Good, excellent point. But... yeah. It still puts a smile on your face. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com, AURAframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames rated #1 by Wirecutter by using that promo code CHGO at checkout. That's AURAframes.com. Use that promo code CHGO. Back to the grades.
Special teams. I think we just might as well start off with the kick. The off kick by Santos. That drastically brings this grade down. He did make 2 field goals, which was awesome. Torrey Taylor he had 2 inside 20, 1 touchback. I think a C is
generous.
Yeah. The kick was bad. But when people say, why don't we just do these dirty kicks all the time? That's why. They're I can hear it both ways. You're a kicker. You have lots of time to practice different kicks, figure it out. On the other hand,
you're not golfing.
You got to, it does have to land in between the 20s. That was just a bad kick. I mean, he just miskicked it.
Yeah.
It almost hit one of the Packer players on the fly, which would not have been, like an onside kick where sometimes in the past you might actually try to do that.
Yep.
No, that would have still been a penalty. So it's a bummer.
Just for the record, I trust Cairo. Cairo's going to be big against the Browns. He's going to be big against the Packers. He's going to hit a huge kick here in the playoffs, damn it. That just wasn't Cairo's best moment.
Yeah. Coaching, fellas, listen, we can't give up 28 points and defensively. And at the end of the game, we have to be able to close it out offensively and score or get the first down on fourth down and follow that up with a score to win the game. With those things in mind, I think a C+ is fair for coaching all around.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I mean, look, first of all, 4 really good coaches, if you just look at the offensive and defensive coordinators,
absolutely,
including the head coaches, obviously, that are play callers. So that's a cool part of this rivalry right now in this matchup. We're going to see it again in, 12 days now, next Saturday. I thought that Jeff Hafley got the best of Ben Johnson in the first half.
Yep.
And I thought Ben Johnson did a great job of making adjustments at halftime, and that's got to make you feel good about the future. And on the other side of the ball, I don't think Dennis Allen necessarily had a horrible game, but
he's got to find a way to dial up.
Yeah. Matt LaFleur got the best of him the whole game.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
I mean, on the other side of the coin, you dialed up an incredible play to win the football game, and you were, I think by all accounts, going to go for 2 and try to do it right there. Like, you're on the verge of having, you lose Kyler, you touch Jordan Love one time, Roma Dunze's not playing, and you gave up a bunch of explosives, and yet you're still right there to win the football game.
When you look at how many, let's say defensively, they had 53 plays. Of those 53 plays, they graded out pretty doggone good defensively. There were 4 or 5 plays that decided that those explosives that decided this game. So when we talk about how close you are, you're 4 to 5 plays away from being the team that walks away with the win.
Yeah.
So we're close.
Matt LaFleur now is 12-1 against the Bears.
What's that? What is he?
12-1.
And we can go down a list of Green Bay coaches and
12-1 is annoying.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean,
that's annoying.
As positive as I feel about how the Bears have played the last 2 weeks, both of those games to me look like playoff games. Yesterday's game looked like a playoff game. It might very well be a game we see in the playoffs. It's still annoying as hell that they lost to the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still be really pissed off about that. I mean, no question about it.
I mean, I just go back to the handshake, and I know it was very cordial, whatever, but he's running out there, and then just does the quick handshake with Ben, just the flyby, and I'm like, you know what? It's just time for the Bears to beat him. I want to see him take that slow walk, and I'd love to see Ben shake his hand with and just not sort of let him move along. We're just a little.
I want him to give him the John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
The John Harbaugh handshake when he beat Detroit.
Well, he could do that next week.
Yes.
By the way, let's not forget. I don't care who was playing. The Bears beat the Packers in January. All right?
Yeah.
That happened.
And then, so now the rubber match next week.
Get your get back. Get your get back.
That's all fine and dandy, but
that was mainly directed at all these Packer fans that are just like, oh, same old, took care of the Bears. Like, you didn't count that you lost to them in January? That happened. Well, it's actually even – do you know who started on the Bears' offensive line in that game? If we're going to play Jordan Love was hurt and Christian Watson was out, he got hurt. Like, you know that, Jake Curran was on that offensive line, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but –
I do feel bad for the households, the split households, You know, because for a lot of times we've just been getting beat down in that household.
Well, I don't have a split household, and I know people watching this can't see this, but those are my kids' grandparents and what they were dealing with yesterday. And my son looks like he's being held hostage.
Right, yeah.
Maybe we could put this on the screen later, Steven. Yeah, they're staying at my house right now. So, yeah, I got home last night and
I mean,
wow.
I don't think the Bears need any more motivation. I feel like this team is very dialed in, but there is part of me that would like to put up on some this Matt LaFleur 12 wins, 1 win Bears. Like, let that just be a little bit of an extra juice. No, don't need it.
How many years do we need to even that out?
So that would be 11 wins. So 5.5 years. 6 years.
If we all went, what if we beat them in the playoffs every year too? That's 3. Huh?
I mean, you can't
look. Those numbers all suck, but I'm just hoping that what we saw yesterday becomes more of the norm. And I'm not talking about the end result. I'm talking about the fact that the Bears belonged in the game.
Yeah.
They kicked their ass in the second half at the line of scrimmage. They at least on offense, and it looked like two good, relatively evenly matched teams. I still think the Packers right now got to have the edge because their quarterback's playing better and they have Micah Parsons, and the Bears don't have that pass rush. But if yesterday is more what this rivalry looks like for the next 5 years, I could live with the results being split over them just kicking our ass every time we play.
What about an X factor like Luther, little Luther? You know, he looked good. You know, when he got his hands on the football. So why can't we get him back?
So that's interesting.
Special teams X factor.
I like that idea. I also and Olamide made an unbelievable catch at the goal line. But if you look at the 4th and 1 play that Hoge did an amazing job and hit the like button one more time for Hoge's ODK performance today. They're using Olamide down at the goal line. Luther's not on the field on that play. So I'm kind of just wondering what the philosophy is there. Like, do they not trust Luther in a very small space there? Do they like a more, Well,
they're still dealing with the volume that he can handle, and he had to handle more this week. By the way, my prediction that OZ would outsnap Luther Burden this week did come true. It was still relatively close, but OZ was on the field more than Luther Burden.
That's a nice prediction by you, Hoge. I didn't realize you made that prediction.
Well, I made that prediction before I knew Rome was going to be out. Look, just a couple, and actually, I think to his credit, Luther Burden played well yesterday.
Yeah.
But the last couple weeks, there were some small little, and we heard Ben talk about the details of the routes. Mm-hmm. There was some routes you watch the film, it's like that can't be what that's supposed to look like with number 10. And so I still feel like. And we knew, shout out to OZ, because we knew he had that awful game where he basically got benched afterwards, lost his snaps, all those drops. And we knew at that time that can't be the last of Olamide Zaccheaus. And that was not an easy touchdown catch he had yesterday.
Correct.
That ball went through the defender's hands.
It touched his hands. It touched the defender's hands.
That was a great play.
Yeah.
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Why they pay you the big bucks?
Well,
in his case, $1.5 million.
Well, speaking of that, thank you. DJ Moore, and I'm not even putting this on DJ. DJ Moore, let me get the exact number of what DJ is making this year.
Okay. I thought you were going to say 1 catch for -4 yards yesterday.
Well,
Let's not do the money to positive yards ratio.
Let's not.
We don't need a graphic for that. Greg's still mad about the first graphic we put up today.
DJ Moore's cap hit this year is $24.9 million. Next year,
nice.
That's some real money.
That's the cap hit, though. That's not what is actually going in his pocket this year.
Whatever. What's going in his pocket is an insane amount of dough. And congratulations to DJ to get in that position in his life. He earned it. All the props. Next year's cap hit is $28.5 million. The year after that, it's $28.5 million, and then the Bears can get out of the deal after 27 with 2 years left on it. So he's going nowhere. I would be very surprised if anybody wants to trade for DJ at this point. Well, maybe they would, but regardless, I would think he's going to be here. He had 3 targets as we go into our overtime right now, become a diehard and whatnot. We should get some can I get a Target shirts for DJ Moore here? Free T-shirt in the door. Use the code JAHNS Johns to get yourself the $36.
Just have him walk around House Hall with a Target on his T-shirt.
Will somebody throw me the football? He had one catch yesterday for -4 yards on 3 targets. He was running wide open late on what could have been the game winner. ALLCITY Zacchaeus is catching more balls and getting equal targets. Cole Kmet has equal targets. DeAndre Swift has more targets. It's late in the season. Is there any – am I making too big of a deal bringing this up right now? Is there any saving this? I don't get it. How are they not more on the same page by this point? It is –
Well, look, I think, though, I think there's some truth to the fact that they certainly don't have the same chemistry that DJ had with Justin Fields. I think that's just evident in what the results have been through – almost 2 full seasons now, but with Caleb. But
last 5 games, 0 catches, 1 catch, 5 catch, 2 catch, 1 catch.
Right. And so, but to me, where I'm going with this is you're Ben Johnson. You are getting paid a lot of money to be the head coach here. You are showing an ability to scheme guys open all the time. This needs to be something that you figure out. If you're the guy designing the plays and calling the plays, even with the understanding that maybe the chemistry is not going to be where you need it to be. But I also think that there have been times where they manufacture touches to number 2. So it sucks that you're not getting more production.
I mean, you have to think of him. You think of, in this style of offense, who's the Amon St. Ra? All right, who's that guy in this offense? Because his production has been outstanding on a weekly basis for the Detroit Lions since Ben had been over there. So which of our receivers is that? Rome Odunze, is that DJ Moore, who's the Sam Laporta, for us. And we're starting to see a lot more of that production from our tight ends. The way that the season's gone, I think that Rome has been more of the role of the Amon St. Ra than anybody else.
Rome leads the team with 44 catches. DJ's got 39. He's second, so it's not, 37 for ALLCITY, 35 for Colston, 30 for Luther, 28 for Swift, 22 for Cole, 11 for Kyle Monungai.
One thing JT O'Sullivan points out frequently on his videos when he's breaking down the Bears is like he feels like DJ should be the guy running these option routes, and they don't have him do that. So like at some point, you just got to assume that's because they don't trust him to do it.
I don't know if that's what's the strength of this offense and they're able to run the ball. Yeah. We run the ball probably better than anybody else in the league, consistently. What can we do off of that? What are our strengths off of that? What are the throws that we can do off of that benefit off of our being able to run the ball? A lot of times it doesn't allow for you to have an option route. Option routes are catch the ball, drop back, and then you read and you play off of the defender. Mm-hmm. A lot of these plays were putting the hand out and then pulling it back. So we're setting up, a lot of more deep throws or double moves and things like that. So I'm not saying that's the answer or that's the reason why it is or isn't, but because we run the ball so well, it changes the way that the strength of our pass game.
Just numbers wise, one more time,
there.
And I think that all makes sense. But he is on pace in a 17-game season. He's averaging 38 yards a game, so he's on pace for 651 yards for the year. Yeah, 651 is 140 some odd yards less than he had as a rookie, which is his lowest at 788. Mm-hmm. He's had 4 1,000-yard seasons. His first year with the Bears was 1,364. He went to 966 last year, so he'd be dropped. That would be a 300-plus drop in a year where, like, you would, if coming into it, you would bet they would go up because Caleb is that much better.
Well, you could have also made an argument that
there's more weapons.
If Rome Odunze becomes, true number 1, like he was drafted to be, that we had that discussion in the summer multiple times. Who's going to be the number one wide receiver? Who's going to lead this team in catches, touchdowns, on all the things? There was a world where you could sort of accept what DJ's role has become if it meant Rome was a Pro Bowler. And earlier in the season, that looked like that was happening. And you're like, okay, like this is and then Rome got hurt, and he was clearly playing with an injury because the production went down, the film didn't look as sharp, and now he's actually out. And over that time period, it hasn't really changed much for DJ. That's the part that now that's why this is a concern, because it's not like these targets, these yards are really going to other people instead of him.
I'll tell you another thing that's alarming. The last couple of weeks we had linebackers that have gotten 14, 15 tackles per game.
Yeah, that disappeared.
Yeah.
T.J. Edwards had 4 tackles. Jackson had 3 tackles. The Bears or the Packers had the ball for 26 minutes during the game. I mean, that averaged about 53 plays defensively. To me, what that says is we're not getting to the ball. We're not getting to the ball, and we're coming off of – and I know that TJ had been hurt. No excuse. You got to get to the doggone ball. We're coming off of 2 weeks where the effort of the linebackers is what stood out more than anything else. Your effort. You should have double-digit tackles every week if you just run to the ball every play.
Yep.
Walking Death has just walked in here.
So scary.
You want to come out here? Say hi? No?
Got that.
Wants to stand tall and loom over us. I got it. I hear what you're saying, and then I look at it. It's like, you have 117 yards on the ground. That's not bad.
It's not. It's not. But what is the standard? If you were the linebacker coach, linebacker coach, and you look at the stat sheet and your linebackers, you say, okay, we have our top leading linebacker has 4 tackles today. He had 3 with 1 being an assist. And the next guy, Jackson, he had 3 tackles. What's your conversation going to be? What is our standard?
Yeah. Carm, a couple weeks ago, you were on the show pointing out how
I went crazy.
They had the second most combined tackles, or the most combined tackles
since 06.
Since Urlacher and Briggs in 06.
Yeah, I said that Lance was Ahmed Agbongbamiga.
Mm-hmm.
I said that. Yeah. Wasn't one of the best things I've ever said.
No, you.
DeMarco was Urlacher, and he was Ahmed.
Ahmed was him.
Right. Okay.
That's what we're.
Yeah. Better. Thank you.
Situation.
Thank you. Absolutely. 100%. I don't understand how that goes away though. Like, you were just there making 15-4. Like, I don't get it.
I do know some games happen that way. Some games happen where we'll have 3 games in a row where it's a 10-game tackle, 11, 13, 14, and then you get maybe a 9, and then all of a sudden before you even look at the stat sheet, Right. Like I know I wasn't in on a lot of plays, and you look at that sucker, it's 3 tackles, and you're depressed, until Wednesday, but 3 tackles from one linebacker and 4 from the other. I mean, hell, if I only had 2 tackles this game, it was more than likely Urlacher had 12.
Right.
One of us covering up for the other, but 4 and 3, we could run a little bit more.
Yeah. How long after the game would you look at the stat sheet? Was that day up?
Depends if I know I was in on a lot of tackles. There was
I got 15.
There was
I got 15.
There was a span of games. I want to say like 4 games where I knew I was like, I know I had at least double digits.
Yeah.
And so I'd look at it and I'm like, ooh, yep, 12. Yep. Oh, 13. Whoop. Yep. Nope. 11, Yeah. And 2 of those games, I know Brian had, I know he was like, I don't even want to see it. I look, I'm like, ooh, he had 4 on this one. He had 3 on this one, on this game. And then the next couple of games, we knew it. I knew he was like, let me see that stat sheet. Because he knew he had a lot of tackles. So you always know.
Shout out to the sales guys out there in the transportation industry trying to move loads all day long. And you don't want to look at that when you were sitting there all day long. You didn't get anything done. But those days when you're moving those loads, oh yeah, that commission's coming in.
Loads and loads.
I never know. Just throw that in there. It's an interesting word choice. I get it. But, all right.
We have a super chat from Braggs in the Stands who sent in $2.
That's like
big
saying
$2.
Nick Wright is Mark Carman. Yeah. You know, he knows where to go, doesn't he? The old brags in the stands. Greg's doing a great job today.
Always looming. You know, you never know where he might be.
It doesn't feel good.
Got that taco breath, man.
He might be attacking.
He doesn't.
next.
He looks generally unhinged coming in today. He walked in with this
I'm a little worried.
tough guy walk, and now he's in between our soda machine that doesn't work
Very, very
and
sneaky,
everything
son.
else back there, which I.
I will say, Greg, and I'm going to put myself in it too. We've been working hard this morning trying to talk people off the ledge. You know, I made an argument. I made an argument on Hogan Jobs this morning. The Bears. It wouldn't shock me if the Bears won 4 in a row to end the season. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen. I think they're good enough. You can't rule that out.
You cannot rule that out.
Last time they lost a game, they won 5 in a row.
Right, and
Is the Ravens their worst loss of the season? Looking back on it.
Detroit.
I think Detroit's the worst.
Yeah, Detroit.
But that was
I get it. I get the context, but like at least
Detroit.
You got embarrassed.
Beat them up and down the field. Like it was. Yeah.
Tyler Huntley was the quarterback of the Ravens.
Yeah, but that Detroit loss was actually a great loss because whatever attention Ben needed to get, he got it after that one.
Smacked it up, flipped it, and rubbed us down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. $13.99 Canadian Buckaroos coming in from Callum Hansen. What's up, Callum? My buddy who's a Seahawks fan texted me last night, one of us after last night's play call of the Packers and Go Bears. Did you follow that?
Not really.
Steven, did you follow that?
Sounds to me
No.
like he was rooting for.
I mean, he was. Let's see, Seahawks.
defense-
got jumped by the Packers in the standings, right? So maybe it's that.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Not
Well,
exactly sure. We appreciate the
Seahawks
super, though.
absolutely annihilated the Cardinals yesterday. I should have bet it. $5 from Jack Slowborn. Jack Slowborn.
I think that's a shot at Jack Sanborn, is what I think it is.
yeah,
I think
And why do we got to do that?
it's creative.
I like it.
It's creative.
What the F was Jalen Johnson doing on those
2 long touchdowns.
touchdowns and Jacobs' 3rd and 2 run? Dude makes way too much money for that S.
You know, I've seen a couple complaints about his effort on the run. I have not gone back and seen that. I haven't gotten that play yet in the film. I do know I think 3 other guys missed the tackle before he would have had a chance to make it, but, you know, whatever. I don't.
When you've been away from the game for a while, for as long as he has, one of the first things that pops up when you get thrown in is conditioning and habits that you had before you took that long layoff. So, you know, and I'm not making an excuse for it, but I've been there. I've been on the shelf for a long time and then went on to the field and had 36 loafs, you know, just was loafing all over the doggone place. And that's not who my character was at the time, and I don't think that's who his character is. But the guy's definitely been on the shelf for a long time. He's got to get to the doggone ball. He's got to have more effort, and he's got to recognize those deep balls and how to play those routes.
There's no doubt. And, you know, I can relate to Jalen, though, because my rec league tennis, when I'm out of shape.
Pickleball?
No, easy. Let's not go down.
He doesn't like
We don't go down. We don't go down. We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
That's
He's anti-pickleball.
We play the real sport.
All right.
You know, when you're not there, you got to that effort starts to go down. You can't hang. You got to, and the only way to get it back is to be in real shape. Hey, Victor Garza, thank you. Renew my diehard membership. Bear down. CHGO, what's up? Briggs, bear down. Carm, can I get an MJ shout out? We're finishing the show later after work. Well, Victor, your passion for CHGO is appreciated. And I know that just like ice cream, if you have the passion, you will find the flavor that you request. What's your favorite? Butter pecan. Shout out, Victor. Shout out, Butter Pecan. Did you guys see that?
No.
No.
No idea what you're talking about.
Butter Pecan.
And since Victor just became a diehard, he now gets 20% off all of our merchandise. It's stored at allcitynetwork.com, including these brand new hats that were just released today.
Look at those hats.
Need some of those. Need that hat. Need that white one right there with the black bill.
Yeah, that is solid.
What's the one on the far left for our side, right side on the screen? I like that one.
It's just a new
like
logo.
veterans.
They did that with all of our markets. So, like, you can get a DMVR logo hat like that.
Oh, it's at the CHGO in the middle there? Okay.
Yeah.
Need one of those for my mom. She served. You know what I mean? One that looks like a veteran's vet.
Oh, it does. It does.
Get
Yeah.
Mom in there. All right, we're back tomorrow. Briggs is back on Thursday. Jerry, Braggs, Hoge. You've got something special going on over there, I'm sure.
What, tomorrow?
I don't know. Sometime in your life.
I'm just still waiting for somebody to explain the college football playoff to me. I've been waiting 24 hours.
I figured it out.
Nobody can.
Hey, buddy.
So
Don't.
Did he say Braggs After Dark here coming up at 4? Did he say it?
I said it earlier.
4 p.m., Patrick Norton and me. New time here today because of our Christmas party. If you don't tune in, Finley, Guy Finley, you specifically, I'll punch you in your mouth.
you smell terrible.
You smell terrible. Like terrible, terrible. Mando!
I mean, it was.
And also some mouthwash would be good. All right. Finley, you do whatever you want, but we always appreciate support. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Let's do it.
We're on to the Browns. Steven, thank you for
On to the
producing.
Browns.
Bring on Shadir.
You guys
Wanna know.
you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Appreciate all the support today.
We all silly like the mayor.